Broadcasting from the Nuki, Kenya. This is the Me and Larry reality video show, LTL, editorial news, weekend review. Is the cable news report for March 6, 2011. Over the week, of course, the protests in Libya. Now you got CNN camping out there, which is the American world's media. And when you have Connect the World host Becky Anderson broadcasting from there and telling a news story about there was a river of blood in Libya. Now, if you want to go into spiritual or Christian prophecy about the river of blood, LTL can invite you into the prophecy from the Christian Bible. Now, if you want to talk about the river of blood, I know people and prophets are going to be talking about the red horse because it's dealing with the red horse. It already came during a part of war when they had fights from Iraq, Afghanistan, Pakistan. And then when the global economics came about in 2008, where it hit everywhere, I mean everywhere around the world, global economics, that means in the scripture, and let me bring it up, Revelations 6, verses 5, about the dark horse. And the dark horse came. It meant it's going to be a global recession. Really, it was going to deal with famine. And so from there, that's what really happened, which came about to where there was a lot of conflicts from Tunisia to Egypt to Yemen to Jordan, now Bahrain, Libya. There's a lot. You could say Nigeria. You could say all. Now, from the news story from Rachel Maddox, when she was talking, telling about what went on in Egypt, and it was on that Tuesday where the Egypt information minister kicked out Al Jazeera, the #1 news media in the world, and invited the Western media, especially CNN. On that Tuesday, it came about a pro-Mubarak people against the anti-government people in Egypt, that were in Revelation 6, 7, and 8, where the pale horse appeared. They would show it on the video on Rachel Maddox. But the situation is the pale horse was in Egypt, and now in Libya. It wasn't a red horse. It wasn't a black horse, because it already came about. It was the pale horse. The pale horse that caused a lot of, that came because of the conflicts and the pale horse means tribulation. And tribulation is a distress or suffering results from oppression and persecution. Because when you have Muammar Gaddafi, and it happened to one of the biggest countries that really does well with oil and have a strong leader of 42 years, Muammar Gaddafi. Here he is, he said, I'm a king, I'm a king. And he wanted to develop a United States of Africa to have one currency. You know, God didn't like that. Took him down. Globally, and with the help of the UN to stop him from and freeze his assets and stop his oil supply and also stop him from traveling, a travel ban. From there, more conflict, civil war. And that's why the pale horse has came, and it did cause distress, it caused suffering, and people are dying by the sword. And that's what's happening. Becky Anderson of Collect the World on CNN. That's the total ball game on that. But LTL got part 2 on it. Coming up next on the LTL editorial news, weekend review, the cable news report.